The point tonight straight away. No beating about the bush. Is Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, preparing to wage war metaphorically on the Indian state like his grandmother did in 1975? Viewers, I need not tell you what happened in 1975. You all know that she imposed the emergency. Why? Because she felt threatened. Her hold over power was being questioned because of a misdemeanor. There was a ruling against her. She didn't like the ruling, so she used the constitution against itself, viewers. Some say the signs of that happening again are unmistakable. And they remind us that a few months ago, Rahul Gandhi said so himself. And now he's beginning to lay the ground. So what are these signs? To begin with, India's Election Commission, an independent constitutional body, has now been openly threatened. Threatened, viewers, threatened with the growl of a street thug. Rahul Gandhi says, and I quote, "We will come for you," unquote, viewers. Rahul Gandhi said, "I want to send a message to the Election Commission. If you think you are going to get away with it," and he's referring, viewers, to what he alleges is vote chori. If your officers, he says, think they're going to get away with it, you, ECI, are mistaken. You're not going to get away with it because we are going to come for you. Do you get it? Unquote. That's what he said, viewers. Listen in.
I want to send a message to Election Commission.
Yes, sir.
If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it because we are going to come for you. I want to send a message to Election Commission.
Yes, sir.
If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it because we are going to come for you. I want to send a message to Election Commission.
Yes, sir.
If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it because we are going to come for you.
Viewers, I only repeated this so that you would understand through constant repetition, it would sink in the import of these words. Is this the language of a Democrat? Is this the language of a leader of the opposition? Is this the language of a supposedly mature, responsible, compassionate leader who waves the Constitution in our faces to convince us that he respects the Constitution in spirit and in letter? Or is this the language of a demagogue drunk on entitlement, viewers? This question is an open one. The reason this question needs to be posed is because this is the first time in the latest of an increasing tendency to lean towards vengeful bullying. Now, Rahul Gandhi has been going to town saying that the Modi government is vengeful. He complains about vendetta from the treasury benches all the time. But viewers, ironically, when the law doesn't favor him, he desecrates it. When institutions don't bow, he bullies them. He becomes vengeful in turn. Sample this, viewers, and let me run you through some of these examples. I always get the hard facts and I pull out these bits and nuggets of research, viewers, so you can separate the wheat from the chaff. This is what Rahul Gandhi said recently. He said, the BJP and RSS have captured every single institution. And we are now fighting the BJP, the RSS, and the Indian state itself. Unquote. The Indian state. At another instant, viewer, just recently, about a week back, he threatened Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Assam Chief Minister, and I quote him, Rahul Gandhi. He says, he's aware that one day, he means Himanta Biswa Sarma, is aware that one day the lions of Congress will catch him and put him in prison. He knows that one day he will have to give details of the corruption indulged in by him and his family. Your Chief Minister, obviously, viewers, he's referring to Himanta Biswa Sarma, will be in jail after some time. And neither Modi nor Amit Shah will be able to save him, unquote. Other Congress allies are also dipping into the Rahul Gandhi playbook. Tejasvi Yadav has threatened to boycott the polls in a clear bid now to arm twist, emotionally blackmail the election commission, viewers. Tejasvi Yadav says we're keeping the option of boycotting polls open. It seems that the government which is elected by the people wants to choose who can vote. The ECI is paying no heed even to the advice of the Supreme Court, which had asked it to consider including Aadhaar card and ration card in the list, unquote, viewers. This is what has been said. The last I checked, the only politicians who have boycotted elections have been separatists in Kashmir and a few northeastern states, viewers. I can list those names. The EC isn't being intimidated, thankfully. It is hitting back calmly, viewers. And that's the operative word, calmly with hard facts. So Rahul Gandhi has said that in Karnataka he has proof of fixing, and the Karnataka Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister have put out some tripe, viewers. And the EC has come out, the state EC has come out and has rebutted. The first rebuttal is, as far as the electoral rolls of Karnataka Lok Sabha 2024 are concerned, no appeal has been filed with the DM, the CEO, which is the Chief Electoral Officer of Karnataka, under Section 24 RPA 1950, which is a valid legal remedy available to the Congress. The second rebuttal, viewers, as far as the conduct of Lok Sabha polls 2024 is concerned, out of 10 election petitions, not a single one was filed by any losing INC candidate as a legal remedy under Section 80 RPA 1950. So not one single. But viewers, post facto, they somehow find all sorts of black and white evidence. What we are witnessing is dangerous, destabilizing demagoguery, not dissent, but a reckless bid to undermine the very pillars of Indian democracy, viewers, that we all lean on to ensure that each one of us is heard. Rahul Gandhi must answer one simple question. Does he believe in the Indian Republic, or only in his family's divine right to rule it? And when they are not in power, when the Congress is not in power, when the Gandhis are not in power, he can feel free to behave like his grandmother did, viewers. Let's open this up, because these are important questions that go to the heart of our democracy. And I want to begin straight off the bat with Sohail Seth. He's known for plain speaking. I don't care if he takes on the BJP or he takes on the Congress. I just want him to be absolutely truthful tonight. And I know that he always tends to be. And I've read his pieces in the Open magazine. We all write for it. And I love the way he cuts really through all the complexities and gets to the point. So Sohail Seth, am I right to assume tonight, just like many Indians, bewildered as they are by what Rahul Gandhi is saying, and some even disturbed, that he is going to go to war on the Indian state in a vengeful manner if he doesn't get what he wants, which is power? He is behaving like Trump did when Trump was booted out of power back in time. And you know when I'm talking about 2020, and you know the insurrection that followed. Is that what the game is?
So here's the thing. I don't know why we have become accustomed to his petulance, assuming that that petulance comes from some intellectual gravitas. It doesn't. I have a very simple argument here based on logic. Let's imagine Rahul Gandhi has no trust in the election commission. Why don't all those who've been elected in India in the last elections from the Congress party simply resign? As simple. If you believe the machinery that got you there is corrupted, if the machinery there is inept, resign. That's a finer mark of protest. You can't be in the house abusing the house. You can't have partial pregnancy. You can't be in a situation where you say, no, I like this, but I hate the rest. So here's the thing. There are state governments which have Congress governments. Let them resign. Tejasvi Yadav is talking rubbish, as he almost always does. He doesn't want to fight the election. Don't fight the election. A. B. In this country, when I last checked, we still have recourses to a higher level of authority. You can take these matters up with the Supreme Court. The Congress has some excellent lawyers. Abhishek Singhvi, Kapil Sibal often defends them. So the point is, you have recourse to the law. You can go to the law. You can go to the courts. Now, you can't say, oh, the courts are also, bending backwards. By that logic, if everything is so supine, if everything is so spineless, then the best form of protest is for Mr. Gandhi to say, we are fed up. This is not a functioning democracy. I do not want to be leader of opposition. I want to resign as member of parliament, and so do all my other MPs. That will be protestation. Rest is petulance. That will be signifying seriousness. The rest is crying wolf almost every time you lose the battle. And finally, Rahul, there will be a time when the BJP will not be in power. Let's be honest, they're not here to rule forever.
Yeah.
Democracy is there and democracy will remain. There will be a time for an election. The best thing for the Congress to do is to win an election. They can't say that all the elections are rigged, because if that was the case, then he's indicting Revanth Reddy in Karnataka. He's indicting most of his state governments, therefore. So that's my worry.
I think these are very valid points, viewers. You got a real problem. Quit. You can't be riding two horses. You can't say, look, the system is rigged, but then clap joyfully and say, look, our model is beating Narendra Modi when you sweep Karnataka, or when you win in Telangana by huge landslide margins, or even when you push the BJP back in Jharkhand. In fact, viewers, in the 4 elections that have taken place last year, in Kashmir and in Jharkhand, the opposition won, fair and square. In the other 2 state elections, which was Maharashtra and Haryana, they lost. And in Haryana, viewers, let me remind you, it was the BJP that were lucky to scrape through small margins. But why did the BJP still manage to do it after 10 years in power? Because a Dalit leader from the Congress, Kumari Shelja, came out and said very clearly to the world that, look, they ignored the Dalit cause. A cabal and a coterie close to Rahul Gandhi mismanaged the election. At that time, everyone nodded and said, yes, she was right, and sympathized with her. Viewers, I want to go across to Sanjay Jha. Strong points have been made by Mr. Suhail Seth opening. And I want you to remember, Sanjay Jha, that I'm prefacing the question by pointing out another fact. So Rahul Gandhi has talked about Karnataka fixing this, that, the other. I'm sure you know Ashish Dua. He's a spokesperson of the Congress party. He's your colleague. And he's written an article in the Indian Express saying, we have no one to blame but ourselves on the Congress's Maharashtra loss, which Rahul Gandhi says was a loss that they incurred while they were snatching victory. Now, viewers, Mr. Dua says if any party accepts a complete collapse of its own acceptance of abandoned polling booths or lack of oversight of the entire polling process, then it needs to set its own house in order. So what has been said? Sanjay Jha.
Rahul, good evening to you and to all my 3 other panelists on the program. There are some aspects of what Suhail said I agree with. Fundamentally, that yes, the BJP is not here forever, and the opposition at some point, hopefully soon, will be back in government, which is why I think we need to have a very bipartisan conversation, because the health of a democracy is not dependent on a political party or the government. It depends upon really the vitality of its democratic and constitutional institutions. 5 years later, we'll still be debating it. We may be on the same side, different sides. So let's try and have a more mature conversation here. I'll be very honest with you that I'm a critique of Mr. Modi. I'm a very big critic of the BJP's ideology, and I don't feel it's unfounded or vitriolic, or I come with a prejudiced mindset. And I'll give you a couple of examples. I agree with Suhail that push comes to shove, maybe the choice for political parties is to say, we don't want to contest the elections. It will be one kind of extreme political messaging, but it could result in a massive public awakening to probably comprehend that the question of the integrity of Indian elections is extremely serious matter. But here is the problem. In my opinion, you can't cure a headache by cutting the head off, which is why the Congress and the opposition has to fix the problem while being part of the system. And since we talked of democracy too often, I'm going to give you 4 examples, and I'll take 30 seconds in aggregate to tell you why we need to be concerned and why the Election Commission questions that are being raised by the opposition cannot be seen in isolation. Here are my 4 examples, and I'm going to quote to you the Supreme Court, not a political party, not Rahul Gandhi. Day before yesterday, the Supreme Court of India's Chief Justice tells the Enforcement Directorate, the infamous, notorious ED, why are you fighting political battles? To my mind, there cannot be a more serious indictment of the Narendra Modi government of the way it functions. It is using the ED, eminent police
Sir, what
officers.
has that got to do with the
you don't have
Election
to interrupt
Commission?
me. Rahul, this is not fair.
No, I mean, come
This
on,
is
you're
not
going
fair.
off topic. I asked
No,
you
I'm
about
not.
a
Let me
charge
finish.
that has been made
No, let me
against the
finish.
Election
I'm answering your
Commission.
question.
No, please, this is very fundamental. You said
No,
you
I-
don't
I
want to
think you're
play.
hijacking the
No,
debate.
hang on. I just want to come back on you. You
What do you
said that
mean?
you don't want to
I
play.
haven't finished.
Let me just finish. Let me just make my point. Then
Wow.
dismiss it if you think it's illogical.
Well,
But my
on the
intervention is
assurance
not,
that
I
will
assure
let
you.
me speak after that
Please,
uninterrupted.
please, Sanjay Jha, please listen
Will
to
I
what I'm
answer
saying.
that uninterrupted
Yes,
by
yes,
you?
please listen to
Yeah,
me.
okay.
Just listen
Go
to
ahead.
me. Just listen to
Yeah.
me.
You just disturbed
I
my
am
train of
talking
thoughts
about
for-
today a more
the record.
fundamental issue, which is representation, which is the people electing governments so that they can be governed and the country can evolve. If Rahul Gandhi wants to question that very basic procedure, he must come with facts. There have been no facts. And when certain proxies on behalf of the Congress, the ecosystem, call it what you want to, have gone to the Supreme Court has not found favor with their petitions. This is a fact. And I can list 3 or
You're
4
wrong.
instances.
You're wrong and you're lying.
How?
Well, give me an
Explain.
example of where has the Supreme
Okay.
Court. No, 1 minute. 1 minute, Rahul. I'm challenging you right
Yes.
now. Are you denying that the Supreme Court did not accept the petition that said that the timing of the Bihar SIR was suspect? Do you
It
think
didn't
the
say
Supreme
suspect.
Court?
Excuse me. It didn't
I
say
did not
suspect.
say
I have it here,
I
the
did
facts. 1 minute. I have the facts before me.
Yeah,
Now, let's
sure.
not be
Read-
loose
read
with the
out the
facts.
timing. Read out the
just
timing.
one second.
Yeah, I have
Let
it
me
too
just
before me.
just 1 minute. I have it here also. Listen to what I'm saying. So, you basically have a situation where the Election Commission has launched an SIR. Viewers, it has done it in other terms and other times, and they were called SSRs in the last 1 year. The Supreme Court allowed this to proceed, but it did raise concerns about timing. It advised the EC
you're
to
already
accept.
contradicting
1 minute,
yourself.
no, I'm not, because you said that this is an illegality. No, the EC said.
Why don't you wait till the 28th, my
1
dear
second.
friend?
No, the EC has said,
Why
excuse
don't you
me.
wait till the
Listen to me.
28th?
The EC has come back today and said very clearly, I'll give you a whole month. I will give any and every voter the right to challenge. You have the whole month to do it, right up till the end of August, the beginning of September 1st. That's a reasonable amount of time. All other SSRs have been completed in a time frame of 1.5 months, plus a 1 month period, a window to challenge any award that has been made or any disqualification through the cleansing of the electoral roll by the Election Commission. And
now can I
in
ask
none
you?
of these elections,
Now can I
elections
answer you?
has the Congress party, and this is very important, viewers, neither have their BLAs, neither have their BLOs come out and filed a petition questioning the EC.
Correct.
Okay, now let me answer you.
Valid.
Now let me
Important.
answer you and kindly don't interrupt me
I
here,
won't.
please.
Stick to the point.
Let's have
though.
a gentlemanly conversation.
Of course.
You disturbed my train of thought, but I'll answer you before I finish my point. Or shall I finish my earlier point and then answer you? Tell
No,
me.
just
tell me
get
which
to the
option.
point. Get to the question
Okay.
that I've
No,
posed.
no. Hang on. For the record, Mr. Shiv Shankar, I was on track because I think you were upset that I was saying stuff that would have embarrassed this government.
Oh,
anyway, I'll finish my point. Just for the record, the Supreme Court of India, when the famous Chandigarh mayoral poll happened, said that this was a blatant murder of democracy.
True.
The BJP tried on camera to hijack an election. So the integrity of this government is up for the world to see. Now let me dump my other points and answer you. Tell me, Rahul Shiv Shankar, you are a seasoned veteran. Since 2003 till now, 22 years, when is the last time why did for 22 years the Election Commission did not do an SIR at all anywhere? Give me an answer. And why has it chosen June 24th and within 24 hours expected everything to go into operation, covering 8 crore voters, to be done within 1 month, which will include printing of forms, distribution of forms, and helping people fill up the forms and ensuring that everybody gets a duplicate copy? None of it has really happened. What's happening on ground in Bihar is an open attempt by the Modi government using the EC as a handmaiden to disenfranchise innocent voters who may be backward caste, migrants, and the minorities. It's for the world to see. And you, as a very responsible anchor, you're a friend of mine off camera, if not on camera. You should be concerned, Rahul Shivshankar. I respect your political thoughts. Listen, you and I are on different ideological platforms. But we need to be speaking for
that's
India.
Fine. So let's speak
Sorry.
for India. Let's speak for India. Look, viewers, the assumption built into what Sanjay Jha is saying is that one rotten apple means the entire basket is rotten. If one were to extend this logic, yes, the EC in the mayor election, the state election commissioner, etc., whatever he was, messed up. But there was a system in place. The Supreme Court stepped in and said, we won't deal with this. This is not right.
Yes.
And it ordered a re-election.
Yes.
And you know after that what happened, viewers. Okay, so there was a corrective in place. Suhail Seth began by saying, if you have a problem, go to the Supreme Court. It is obviously helping you. You had a problem with electoral bonds, and the Supreme Court heard it and gave you relief. You came out saying, yes, we have turned the tide. In 2024, when Modi's BJP fell short by 13 odd numbers, you said, see, the people have delivered democracy and the EC is free and fair and everything is hunky-dory and this government is not going to survive because Nitish and Naidu are going to basically upset the apple cart, and you were delighting in this. Okay, three viewers, if one apple, rotten apple, makes all of them rotten, then can you answer me, Sanjay Jha? There are people who have participated in riots against minorities from the Congress party. They went on to hold office. They went on to be re-elected, given tickets by the Congress party. Are we to assume that the Sajjan Kumars of the world represented what the Gandhis thought of Sikhs? If that is the case, answer. If one rotten apple in the EC thinks that he can get away with suborning an election because the EC is built like that, is completely rotten to the core, then tell me, is the Congress party militantly opposed to Sikhs? Because why did it then promote Sajjan Kumar and company? Tell me.
Okay, let me answer you on the context. And Rahul, this is for you and my three fellow panelists and the viewers of your very popular show. Tell me, doesn't it sound bizarre, if not downright absurd, that if I voted in the Bihar elections in 2020 and I voted from Bihar in the Lok Sabha election of 2024 as a legitimate voter, it's counted in the EVMs, I'm now being told, please furnish evidence to become a voter in 2025 assembly elections. I mean, it's a farce at an epic scale. And why would the election commission do it in such a brazen fashion? Because it started 1 month before they started to implement that if you don't submit it all, you're off the rolls. It's unbelievable. You're talking about September 1.
Right.
The power to disenfranchise voter remains with the government, not with the voter at all.
This question has been answered. This question has been answered not by Rahul Shivshankar, but Rahul Gandhi's closest ally, Tejasvi Yadav. Tejasvi Yadav has come out and said, I have no problems with the SIR. We are not opposing the SIR. We are only opposing when it is taking place.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I don't think anybody is against
Are we
getting
supposed
the
to
roads
then...
correct.
No, hang on.
Remove
There is
the
an
debt,
election. Let me bring in
improve the
Ishkan Bhandari.
Q-form,
There is
nothing
an
wrong.
election... Okay, 1 second. There is an election. There is an election every 3 months in this country. So the EC must wait eternally to clean the electoral rolls, because at some state or the other, if it has to begin the SIR once again, it's a gargantuan task, viewers.
This is not an SIR.
No, no,
This is a
Rahul-
complete new electoral
Rahul, can I
role.
say
No,
a
sir,
question
please.
to
This is
me?
an
NRC
SIR.
from
Please,
the
please, sir.
background.
First of
Rahul,
all,
it's
first
a-
of all,
This is an
don't
NRC
mangle.
from
Don't
the
no,
background,
please,
the
please, please.
background.
Please, you don't even
Rahul,
know what
sir.
you're talking about. SSRs
Rahul.
have
I
been.
know what I'm talking about.
Sir, SSRs
Rahul.
have
This is
happened
an
in the last
NRC.
election. And Ishkaran Bhandari wants to come in on a technical
you.
point. Let's raise
Yeah.
a technical point.
Special
Ishkaran Bhandari.
revisions
Yes.
are done at
Yes,
the
thank
beginning
you.
of the year in January every year.
Sanjay, you had your turn. Now, can I speak, please?
Yeah,
Firstly,
I
let
had
me
my
do a
turn
fact.
severely interrupted.
Let me first do a fact check
Great.
and then come to my main point. When we say one rotten apple does not spoil the EC, the returning officer of the Chandigarh mayor poll, was it Election Commission? The presiding officer was not part of Election Commission. So it's not even a rotten apple in the Election Commission. So why give such examples which are not applicable to Election Commission, because we are discussing the fairness of Election Commission, not of a nominated councillor of a party or of a body. So first be clear on the facts. When you attack an institution, you have to talk about its officers. Clapping like a joker will not change anything. If you are talking about income tax, you will talk about income tax officer, not what a chartered accountant does. There is no similarity between the two. You have to talk
My
about
dear
officers
friend, I
of
was
an
talking
institution
about the
to attack
intentions of the
now let me
Bharatiya
come
Janata
to.
Party.
Now let me come to.
Don't try and
Please
use
come
a
here.
red herring to divert the
No,
No,
conversation.
no,
I
you
didn't
want,
interrupt.
you want.
need to
He's caught
speak.
you out and concede the point. Yes,
No,
Mr.
really?
Bhandari.
You were
Oh, really?
you were attacking Election Commission. So let's talk about their officers, please.
I was
Let's be very
talking
clear
about
on what you have
everything as
spoken.
a whole.
Rahul, I have to make my point now. I cannot do
See,
it
don't
like this.
interrupt
This is not
him,
the way.
Sanjay Jha. He
This is
never
not. I did
interrupted
not
you.
speak.
He might
I
have
did not
wanted
speak
to
a
erase
word.
his hand.
Fair enough.
Yes, okay, come
Yes,
on.
I
Ishkan
did-
Bhandari. Yes, the first fact check by Ishkan
Thank
Bhandari
you.
is that it was not the EC officer
Yes.
that was
Yes.
indicted in the mayoral contest in Chandigarh.
Yes.
So who was
Okay.
indicted?
One
Yes.
second, please.
Yes.
Please.
Now,
Ask
can
him
I
to tell us who was
proceed?
indicted. अरे
अरे बाबा,
भंडारी
do
जी
a
जरा ये
Google-
बता दीजिए किस पर
Rahul, this is not
सुप्रीम
the
कोर्ट
way.
ने अपनी टिप्पणी
This
दी
is
थी
not
जरा
the way.
बताइए
This
ना
is not the way.
घबराते का है
Rahul, can I finish
Okay.
my point?
Okay.
Can I finish my
घबराते
point
का
now?
है,
Okay,
बताइए।
one
Can I
second.
finish my point?
Let Bhandari finish
By-
his point. Yes.
By making a fake pseudo accent in Hindi, trying to be a man of the masses,
अरे
when knowing
गुरु
nothing
तू
about the
झूठ
masses,
बोलना
you will not
बंद
become
कर
that.
यार
You will not
तू
become
झूठ
that.
बोलना
You were
बंद कर
attacking
दे।
Election Commission. He is not an Election Commission officer. That's a fact. Anybody can check it. He was a returning officer there, which nothing to do with Election Commission, because it does not conduct a mayor election in which nominated councillors and councillors vote. It's a fact. You can Google the fact. Now let's come to the other aspects of this. Rahul Gandhi is like a petulant child who behaves if either I will have the toy or I will destroy the toy. But I am not surprised with the attack on Election Commission, because even when they were in power and a CAG report was not in their favor, they attacked the CAG. The minute an investigative agency goes after them, they attack the investigative agency, be it CBI or ED. But that is not new. The minute a court order goes against them, remember the entire Indira Gandhi case and why emergency was declared? Because that time they could not abide by a court order, either of the High Court or of the Supreme Court. So they destroyed the entire democratic system. But that is also not new. The minute they could not abide by free speech, they brought the First Amendment to restrict the free speech. So it's a long history. Anytime you do not get the will of the people, or you feel that things are not going as per you, or you feel that the constitution as is being implemented equally on you, you change the constitution, you destroy the democracy, or you try to threaten. If you go to Assam and you do not like the policies of the chief minister, you say, I will jail you. What case, what evidence, what have you done? Where have you filed a complaint? Have you made a private complaint in the court? Has the court issued summons? Nothing. I decide you have to go to jail, so you shall go to jail if I come to power. Similarly, you threaten the Election Commission. I decide you are not fair. Even though, if you flip the argument,
Yes.
in the mayor's case, if there was evidence, the Supreme Court should take aside. If there was any evidence against the Election Commission, you could go to court. There are methods known to law. There is a proper
Absolutely.
process, and you will win it. But you don't want to do it. It's a petulant
Absolutely.
child who's just saying, I will destroy the toy.
Petulant is a word also that Sohail Seth began with. So viewers, his logic is running right through this particular debate, and that's why he's sitting here on this show. And let me tell you, on the mayoral election that was obviously suborned, it was the retired judge, Jayashree Thakur, appointed by the Supreme Court the second time around, that oversaw the mayoral success, the mayoral elections. So the Supreme Court intervened and they said, look, you don't trust all the other parties, we will do it. All the more reason, therefore, for Rahul Gandhi to personally move a petition against the Election Commission in the Supreme Court. But why? And let me ask Mr. Shyam Kumar, is neither Tejaswi Yadav nor Rahul Gandhi going to the Supreme Court? Sir, go to the Supreme Court. You have no faith in the Supreme Court?
For what?
We have got in the SIR case for what we are supposed to go. We have got, you are well aware.
So then,
I-
has the Supreme Court stayed the SIR?
What Supreme Court has taken note of it. You don't want to speak as a media person. You are asking question to opposition leader. You should ask a question to party in power. You should ask the basic concern of the people. And TDP has raised such a fundamental question. You don't want to hear. JDU MP from Baka has raised fundamental question. You don't want to hear. It is utter surprise as a media person, as a
Okay.
fourth pillar of democracy.
Yes.
That in what you are presenting over a couple of minutes, I was listening. I respect you, Rahulji, but I would like to tell you there is nothing sacrosanct in democracy. Asking any question is not a problematic. It is democratic. You know,
I'm
it
not
is
talking about
of-
questions, sir. This is a threat against the Election Commission. हम आपको
Nothing
देख
like that.
लेंगे.
You people, no, when there is a what threat? If
Sir,
leader
Rahul
of
Gandhi,
opposition
listen to
leader-
this. Mr. Shyam Kumar, listen to this. Please listen. Please be patient. I want to
go
play
ahead.
out what Rahul Gandhi has said. Let's listen to what Rahul Gandhi has said once again, viewers. He has threatened the Election Commission. He says, when we come to power, we will show you. What does that mean, viewers?
Let me put my
That
point
is
of view.
demagoguery. Listen to this first. Just listen to this, viewers. Listen to this. This is bullying. Listen to this.
I want to send a message to Election Commission. Yes, sir. If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it. Because we are going to come for you. I want to send a message to Election Commission. Yes, sir. If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it.
We will come for you. Sir, is this the language of a LOP? Is this the language of someone who believes in the letter and spirit, as he claims, of the Constitution? Does the Constitution write that vendetta is acceptable? This is the question, sir. Please answer.
For 11 years, that's what Mr. Modi's government has done to the opposition.
So two wrongs
Gone
make a
after
right?
them.
So two wrongs
No,
make a right?
he's
So
not
then,
giving a
then,
threat.
Then you answered
He's
your
talking
question.
about
The
we'll
debate
expose
ends.
the truth.
The debate ends.
We'll expose
if
the
he is
truth.
becoming the dark lord
He's talking
of
about
demagoguery,
exposing the truth.
if he's becoming the dark lord of demagoguery because he thinks that is in fashion, then I'm sorry, Mr. Jha, you've just proven me right. That this
I'm
is
saying he's
exactly the
talking about
model that
exposing
Rahul
the
Gandhi
truth.
is. No, I mean that he's
The
becoming
EC
a bully
is
from the
rigging
pulpit.
democracy.
Suhail said.
He's telling the ECU will not be allowed to rig democracy.
Sanjay Jha has walked all over himself.
He's
There are
telling the
three issues
ECU
here
can't
after hearing-
rig
Sanjay, one
democracy in
minute. Now,
India.
enough. After hearing Sanjay and Mr. Kumar, there are three issues here basically. One is both these gentlemen are worried that democracy is under threat. Okay, fair enough. If you believe democracy is under threat, the mayoral election wouldn't have been overturned. The Supreme Court would have packed up. There would be no change. Narendra Modi would have stomped home because, as your opposition leader believes, that the election commission is in the pocket of the BJP. That hasn't happened. So, democracy is still safe. Number two, Tejasvi Yadav, whose party this gentleman represents, has been famous. His father has been more famous for actually knocking at the doors of courts in and out on medical bail. That is one of the pillars of democracy. When I last checked, the judiciary is one of the pillars. So if Lalu Yadav and Tejasvi Yadav have no faith in the judiciary, why did they constantly knock on the doors of the judiciary and make statements saying that the only people who will give them relief and medical bail are the courts? Lalu Yadav is still on medical bail. Number three, no one's point here is that Rahul Gandhi should not say what he believes. But with the office he occupies, he doesn't have a right to. Because you cannot be in the system constantly decrying, abusing, questioning the existence of the system. Then get out of the system. Be a protester. But you want your house. You want your insulation. You want your immunity. And yet you want to abuse. Ye cheezein nahi ho sakti. You decide one way or the other.
Mr.
Well,
Kumar,
Rahul,
Mr.
rejoined
Kumar,
to
quick
Suhail.
response from
democracy
you.
that exists
No, one
in India
minute,
today,
rejoinder
or
to
I'm
Suhail.
against the democracy that exists
one
in
minute.
India today.
Your
You
leader
cannot be
wants
a partial
to.
believer.
Your
what
leader-
Rahul Gandhi is doing is he's
Rahul.
creating dissent
Okay,
within
one second.
normal
No,
people.
a rejoinder to
Your
what
leader,
Suhail
one
said.
second,
minute,
your
one
leader,
minute,
one
let me
second,
finish.
just one
No, let me
second.
finish. I'll take 15
No, Mr.
seconds.
Kumar is here to answer, sir.
No, 1 minute. Let me take 15
No,
seconds.
please,
It's
because
not
Mr.
the
Kumar
end of
has
the
to have his say also. Please,
Yeah, he'll-
he
he
can't.
and I are on the same side, don't
No,
worry.
it's not. I'm bringing
No,
him
no,
in.
he
His
won't yield to
his
you.
party
He will
represents
yield to
another
his
pole.
him now.
No, sir, please
Or
don't
are you
hog.
scared of me spilling
Just
some more
because you
beans
have
on the
more
carpet?
seats, just because you have more seats than the RJD nationally doesn't mean that you can deprive him of his time.
Don't
He's also
worry,
taken
RJD
time.
and we are on the
Let
same
me just
side,
go
don't
straight
worry.
across to Mr. Kumar. Come on,
Don't try
Mr.
so
Kumar.
hard.
Mr. Kumar, please, I have to ask you this question. Let's take at face value your lack of faith.
God, you're desperate,
Then
man.
go to the Supreme Court and say that this election is rigged for these reasons. You have gone, you say, to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has given you no relief. So then put up and go ahead with the action. And you will have 1 month to prove the Election Commission wrong. If people have been left out, you can produce the election data and question it.
Sir, what to say? We have discussed so much on this topic.
Okay.
And I would like to tell you very frankly, Rahul ji,
Yeah.
deciding from New Delhi to ground realities of remote villages of Bihar and what is a pathetic condition you are not aware. I respectfully disagree with you.
Right.
And we are in the court, honorable court, and we will definitely move.
Okay.
And 28 we have date also.
Okay,
So,
fine. So we'll wait for that. Then let's wait for
So
that.
let me
Let
complete.
all the
Rahul,
facts.
I need to make a
I need
point.
to move on because viewers, I'm being
no,
accused
1
of
minute,
not
I need
standing
to
up
make
for
a
the
point.
national interest.
I
I
need to
know
make a
everyone's favorite.
point.
I am being accused of not standing up for the national interest, viewers. But let me tell you one thing very specifically here.
You of standing
You
for the
can't today
BJP.
pull out a rabbit from the hat and
You're
say some
standing for the
JDU
BJP.
MP has protested against the SIR. Because viewers, once again, let me tell you, Omar Abdullah, Mr. Omar Abdullah, another Congress
you're standing for
spokesperson
the
has come out
BJP.
and said
Don't
that
do
Rahul
that, man.
Gandhi is completely wrong, barking up the wrong tree. Sharad Pawar has also said that by questioning the intent of the Election Commission. Now, viewers, I need to move on because when it comes to India's interest, I am not going to at any level compromise, viewers. And we now need to look at this story, which is a very important story. Viewers, India has suspended the Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan. India did this because we were told the Modi government doesn't believe that blood and water can flow together. India has choked trade between India and Pakistan. India did this because Modi government told us that trade and terror can't mix. India scaled back diplomatic ties with Pakistan. India did this because talks and terror can't go together. But even before the pain of Pahalgam has subsided, we are being informed that India and Pakistan will play cricket matches with each other. And guess where, viewers? In the UAE. How do we know that? Because the Asian Cricket Council has come out and confirmed that Indo-Pakistan tie will take place as scheduled. It is not going to be scrapped. This decision was taken at a meeting attended by all 25 member nations to discuss the venue for the event. The BCCI itself was represented by its Vice President Rajiv Shukla, and BCCI Secretary Devajit Saikia has said that an official announcement will be made in a few days. If blood and water and trade and terror can't go together, then how can blood and bat, viewers, flow together? India shouldn't be rewarding Pakistan's perfidy. What will the widows of Pahalgam think? These ladies in the middle of your screens. Viewers, we don't even have justice. We haven't even caught those horrible beasts. What will the braves of Bharat, who sacrificed their lives to punish terroristan, think? The BCCI, it appears, couldn't care less. The reason is, and it is not hard to say, money, cash, crores of cash. How much are we talking about? Well, just for the TV rights, the ACC has earned $170 million. And you know what, viewers? The people who have bid for those rights bid so without competition. It's remarkable. So they bagged the rights for $170 million and they want to realize their investment. They will sell the TV space for advertisements to recoup their investment. Viewers, and if the India-Pakistan tie doesn't take place, you will not have the requisite number of eyeballs, and therefore you will not be able to command the ad revenue, and therefore, viewers, you will be a losing proposition, and the BCCI in the next tournament will not be able to raise TV right revenue, and so on and so forth. You understand where I'm going with this? In fact, a 70% increase over the previous cycle is the TV rights bid amount that has been recouped from a broadcaster. Now, the Indian government equates Pakistan to a terror state. But for money, the BCCI is reducing the stature of the Indian team by forcing it to share a stage with a team of terror apologists for a terror state. There can be no equivalence between India and a Pakistan. Would you ever fraternize with a person who snatched the sindoor of your daughter? There is no equivalence to be drawn between Pakistan. Not on a diplomatic stage, not on a 70 screen, not on a sport field, never ever. The Indian government must not hide behind technicalities. The global sporting body rules don't allow bilateral disputes to be settled on multilateral platforms. This is what they are saying. But why? Just why are we trying to please these Western international bodies? How many Western countries in the West have openly denounced Pakistan for supporting terror? Are these Western countries rule-abiding? Do they have squeaky clean morals? Don't they also put their own interests first whenever it suits them? What do you think the United States was doing when it boycotted the Olympics in 1980 and vice versa when the Soviet Union did so in 1984? Then no one threw the rule book at these nations. What happened in the last Olympic Games when Russia was banned from participating in the games? Then no one threw this sort of, oh, it's a multilateral forum, so we can't have any of these people doing any of this. Well, strong states, viewers, don't let rules dictate. Instead, they set them to suit their interests. And I want to open this up because some fundamental questions have to be asked. And once again, I'm going to start today with a military man. Major Jolly is here with us. Major Jolly, you have served in Kashmir. You have served in Kashmir. You have seen what actually happens. You know intimately what has happened in Pahalgam. Sindoor has been wiped off. We went to war. And we have the BCCI that wants to play and reward Pakistan for terror when the Indian government itself, I don't know why the Indian government is not putting an end to this. So Major Jolly, how do you feel as a serving person?
Right. Thanks, Rahul. Thanks for, I'm really happy you got me here and I can express my thoughts.
No, this is not a happy occasion. You're right. I know you mean it ironically.
Yeah.
This is a very sad occasion, viewers.
It is very disappointing to say, especially as a soldier. My friends have laid down their lives fighting wars for this government. My seniors, my juniors. The thing is, how it comes across is this is like BCIC is living in some feudal state, which they do not connect, they do not respond, they do not associate by the sacrifices made by the soldiers. And entire Op Sindoor, we kept fighting. De-hyphenate us from Pakistan. We are a different state. De-hyphenate. And you're bringing it back on a cricket field.
Absolutely.
How is this justified?
It's a very valid point. Sohail said, what is the thinking in the BCCI? What is the BCCI thinking? Can you explain to me? I don't understand. You've been someone who knows some of these fat cats in the BCCI. So tell me.
But I've also been the one who has criticized them all the time.
Yes.
It is nothing but a money-making body registered, for, I don't know why, as a charitable trust. They pay no taxes. They have no sense of decorum as far as the country is concerned. And I totally agree with Major Jolly. You cannot have it both ways. It is an absolute shame. You know, Rahul, some of us took to Twitter to stop some of our cricketers from playing in that league in Dubai.
Yes.
Why is the government not taking action?
Yeah.
You don't want Pakistani film actors to come and work in Bollywood. You don't want Pakistanis to travel to India. Yet you want cricket to happen as if nothing's gone wrong. Why? You had cricketers, ex-cricketers from Pakistan who during Operation Sindoor were vitriolic as far as the relationship between Pakistan and India is concerned. That doesn't matter. The same people are being hugged today, whether it is in London or in Dubai. We are an absolute shameless bunch of people who are willing to sacrifice everything at the altar of greed and avarice. And no one is willing to say anything. You know why? Because politicians are running BCCI. Jay Shah is the president of ICC. Why is Jay Shah allowing this? And for us to say, oh, we have no control over ICC, we have Jay Shah sitting there. What is he doing? His father is the Home Minister of India. His father is the Home Minister who knows the pain and the pathos and the lives that were lost during Operation Sindoor and previously to terrorism. His father is the Home Minister of India when Pahalgam happened. Is there no remorse? Can he not use his influence? So I refuse to believe that we can't use our influence or we don't have power. The point is we are unwilling to do it. And the time has come for the country to now stand up and be counted and say, to hell with this nonsense. For us, India is more important than cricket. Remember, India as a country is more important than some ridiculous terror-fostering country that we need to play with.
Yes. Atul Vasan, where do you come in on this? You know, the Home Minister, Mr. Sohail said should step in, use his influence, but the BCCI itself should have the sense, it should be connected with the larger feelings that are running through this nation.
I think they are actually. Sohail said it that it's when once the decision was made to allow the Pakistani hockey team to come to India for the qualifiers, and that means that where does it end? Because there's a line in the sand, because if we keep the players out of it, then when do we start again? And what does happen to
No,
the
what do we
careers of
start
all the
again?
sport people?
What are we going to
No, because
start?
it's a
Excuse me.
multi-nation tournaments.
No, one second. Mr. Vasan, what do we start with Pakistan?
Bilaterally.
Do you want Pappi
But how
Jappi
long
bilateralism?
How long can you abstain? How long can you abstain in playing in multinational tournaments? You tell me. When do we start again? When do we stop again?
Hang on. Are you
Because
telling me?
our
No,
ICC
just a
just
minute.
banned
The
Pakistan.
Indian cricket. I'm sorry, sir. The Indian cricketers, they make more money from the IPL today than they make from playing in whites.
Absolutely.
So.
But
that is our
it's
own.
got nothing to do with
That is our
cricketers.
own tournament where we don't.
Whatever the board
Why
asks
don't we
them
allow
to.
Pakistanis then in the IPL, sir?
Okay. Why are we just talking about cricket then? Why are we not talking about the qualifiers in hockey?
I am talking
if
about
the
every
Pakistan
issue.
team was allowed
I
in
totally
India-
agree.
I am talking about every issue. I'm
I
talking
agree
about
with Atul Basan.
Once that happens,
any interaction with Pakistan. Who are these people?
Do we feel that we know more than the government of India? They must have taken this
Yes,
decision
we do.
by keeping something in mind.
Sir,
there are other
we
things
elect
going
a
on.
government.
Just
No,
besides,
one minute.
We
this
elect a
jingoistic
government. The
thing.
government
know
is
more than
answerable
the
to
government
us.
of India in
With
these
you when I say
matters.
that we should not play them anywhere bilaterally. We should not associate with them
Okay.
in anything. But when there's a multi-nation tournament happening, you got to play. You don't have to hug them. You don't have to go
Really?
out for a meal
Really?
with them.
What is
Of
the
course, of course.
Olympics if it's not a multinational tournament? It's the
So
greatest
you are
festival
just-
of.
You are just quoting one
No.
exception.
What one?
After
Sir,
that-
I am going to look. You're pointing out there's a multinational panel, this, that, the other.
So
The
North
IOC
Korea,
kicked
North
out
Korea
Russia.
doesn't play. North Korea goes, South Korea plays in the same tournament. We've got a bigger war going between India and Pakistan than North and South Korea. What are you talking about?
There is no war right now between North and South Korea. There
Yeah,
is
there's
an
no
absolute
war.
cold war.
What are you saying?
We've had a hot war, sir. They come across the border and kill our citizens.
So that's what war is about. I'm just saying that
Wow.
you're quoting 1980.
Yeah, by that logic, there's a
Suhail
cold war
said-
between Russia and America. Yeah, for
Suhail
ages.
After that,
Suhail said, please come in. Tell Mr. Vasan why he's wrong.
Atul, this is not only to be embraced through the prism of logic. There is a sentimentality involved. We have lost our loved
with
ones. We have lost our soldiers. And we have constantly, please understand, this is where I worry, Atul, my friend. The equivalence that you're drawing is war. These people have come in and killed our people without the framework of war. They have attacked us through terror. Do not equate terrorism with war. War is far more glorious, in a manner of speaking, than terrorism. Terrorism is indulged in by cowards. This is what Pakistan is. And we've got to recognize that. So please don't equate South Korea and North Korea with what has happened between Pakistan and India.
I'm in England right now, and this is what happened. A few days ago, Indian Pakistan legends were supposed to play, and that match was called off because some of the Indian players said we're not going to play.
There you
and
go.
Not all of them. Yeah. So, but then what happens is then when the signals come that Indian team by the BCCI allowing and the Indian government is allowing the Pakistani hockey team to come to India. I mean, it's mixed signals. What are the players supposed
Sir,
to do? We don't know.
look,
No one should be allowed.
It's not as if the BCCI are a bunch of babies who need to take signals from other. They can establish their own ethos. They're not government of India, sir. They're a private enterprise.
You want
Do you want
BCCI to be
private?
more loyal
No,
than the
hang on,
king?
hang on.
You want
As
BCCI to be
citizens,
more
they have
loyal
no
than the king?
responsibility, is it?
So they should also
Sanjay
go,
Jha, no
and
responsibility?
Not bothered about the government of India decision. Yeah.
You have no
how is it
responsibility as a
possible?
citizen.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go and
Rahul,
party
I
with
have
every
only one-
Pakistani.
Yeah, Rahul, I have only one point to make.
Yes.
Mr. Modi went on live television and told the people of our country, Operation Sindoor is still on. This is what I hear the BJP
Yes.
spokesperson say every day. So if the Operation Sindoor is on, then you definitely can't be playing hockey or cricket.
Correct.
I mean, it sounds so bizarre and atrocious that there's no explanation for this other than the fact that the BJP is cowardly, hypocritical, and pseudo-nationalist. When it
No,
suits
one
them,
second,
they will talk
second.
about
All of this,
By the
all
way,
of this,
the vice
all of this
president-
dichotomy, I agree with.
Big
No, one
money.
second. I agree with this dichotomy, but I think once again you're playing a very deft political hand here. You see, we are assuming that the BCCI is some government body. The BCCI is not a government
who's
body.
the boss.
No, excuse me. One
Suhail has hit the nail on the head.
1 second.
Amit Shah's son is
What?
the boss.
Yes, but that doesn't mean. No,
He's
hang
the
on. Doesn't
supremo.
mean it's a
Yeah,
government
so
body.
is Rajiv
Please.
Shukla.
He's the
1 minute.
supremo.
So is Rajiv
Yeah,
Shukla.
Rajiv Shukla is a
Shukla
Congress
is the
man.
vice president of BCCI.
Suhail, the others don't matter.
No, 1 second,
Arey
1 second.
yaar,
Viewers, you know, this is where, see,
And it
Sanjay
goes
Jha,
to
you're being
Amit Shah.
deliberately,
That is the
no,
short
you're being
story.
deliberately obfuscatory tonight. There are two issues here. I agree with you that the Indian government needs to take a resolute position and say at no level, zero, from pop stars to film stars
But Rahul,
to
cricket
sport
is
stars
big
to
hoola,
politicians, do we want to have
Cricket
anything
is
to do with
cash.
Pakistan? I agree with that.
Cricket
But
is
it doesn't
cash.
mean, it doesn't mean that the BCCI can't take a step back and think for themselves and say, no, actually, we don't want to be part of this
It is
party.
not a BCCI decision. You know,
It's not a
the government
BCCI
will-
decision.
No,
Who
it's
runs
not.
the
The
ACC?
government will decide.
Who runs the
Let
ACC?
the
The
government
ICC
decide.
runs
Why
it, sir.
should
Why don't
Okay.
you interview
Let-
Jay
let-
Shah?
why-
the
we
We
member
will.
of the-
We will. I'll ask him for an interview. But viewers,
No, but why does the BCCI allow
viewers,
the
this is a
government?
problem. We have a major problem here. We have a problem, and that problem is following. And let's face it, that today money is making the tail wag. There is no other way of looking at this. And money, viewers, is so pernicious that it is blinding people to the pain that is being suffered by those who've lost loved ones to insidious and invidious, viewers, butchery and, most importantly, hate in Pahalgam. And I don't care if it means that the government or the BCCI, whoever needs to take the call, they need to take it. This tournament with Pakistan cannot go along. We are the richest board. Why is Pakistan even, we can't, are you saying that, viewers, we cannot lean on, Suhail said, we can't lean on the other boards to say, actually, we don't want to play with Pakistan. We did it with South Africa in the apartheid era.
Repeatedly, we have changed for a local tournament like an IPL. We went to South Africa because Chidambaram said, I don't have enough forces.
Yeah.
Let's say, Rahul, you have hit the nail on the head. Today, the BCCI has no nationality. It has no nationalism. It has nothing. It is only guided by commerce. It will continue to be guided by commerce because a lot of the politicians who are part of the BCCI are above reproach and they're above accountability. The day you make these Johnnies accountable, watch what happens. You saw what happened. The Supreme Court said that the tenures must be limited. How
Yes.
has everyone obfuscated that tenure business?
Yeah.
So it's a cozy little club. In the good old days, I used to call it, and Atul used to laugh, I would call it the Board of Corruption in Cricket in India, BCCI. They are mentally, emotionally, and physically, to my mind, corrupt, in a manner of speaking. They've done yeoman work, but the point is, they have to fly the national flag.
They have to.
They represent India. They must represent Indian sentiment and must represent the Indian national spirit. Nothing else matters. No goddamn tournament, no play, no nothing.
And viewers, if this, sorry to say, but sacrifice of the martyrdom of our soldiers and of those who were slaughtered in Pahalgam continues, then I have to appeal to your conscience, viewers, do not watch. Punish them by not watching.
Absolutely.
Punish. Play your own role, viewers, with a straight bat. I need to move on, viewers, because there's been a very, very important development. Thank you, gentlemen. There's been a very, very important development tonight, viewers. India and the UK have signed a massive trade deal. It's the biggest by the UK with any nation after Brexit and the most significant for India ever. And I'm not saying it. The Prime Ministers of both countries said it in a joint press conference. And let's show those pictures of the two in the press conference. Those are pictures of these two premiers meeting cricket players, etc., etc. But that's where this was, in the Chequers residence. And there you can see on the right is Keir Starmer and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, speaking in the UK, Prime Minister Modi, immediately after signing that trade agreement, invoked cricket, that he said was a great metaphor for the Indo-UK partnership. The Prime Minister said, and I quote him, "There may be a swing and a miss at times, but we always play with a straight bat. We are committed to building a high-scoring, solid partnership," unquote. So the question is, will the deal lead to both sides scoring high on returns? On the face of it, it seems so, it appears likely. The deal could lead to an India company Raj in the United Kingdom, viewers. A virtual reversal of roles for India that once saw the British East India Company aggressively invade India and colonize each and every part of our economy and our markets. That was then, viewers. This is now. And India has turned the tables. Now, why are we saying this? Let's have a look at some of the important takeaways. The first and foremost that stares at you is that it will boost Indian exports. So duty-free access for about 99% of Indian exports to the United Kingdom now, viewers. That's huge. Nearly 100% of India's trade value will be duty-free. That's very big. So it gives you a price advantage when you export into the UK market, and we will be knocking off certain other players who export into the United Kingdom from the shelves of the supermarkets and all the showrooms. A 32 billion export opportunity for labor incentive sectors here in India, which employ, also called the MSMEs, which employ the maximum number of people. Exports of fruits, veggies, cereals, millets, organic herbs will grow, which will benefit viewers an entire farm economy, from the farmer right up to the food processor. Better margin and wider reach for turmeric, pepper, cardamom, better returns for tea, mango, grapes, jackfruits to benefit from UK markets, so even farmers in this country can diversify their crop basket. Duty-free exports for 95% of agricultural products, which is massive. No tariff concessions on UK dairy products, apples and oats, so that will be something, viewers, that we'll have to look out for. Let's look at sector-wise gains. Textiles and apparel, current UK tariffs of 8 to 16% will be eliminated. This is expected to boost exports from key textile hubs like Tirupur, Surat, Ludhiana. Beneficiary companies will be Welspun India, Arvind Limited and the like. Footwear, zero duty access will benefit manufacturers in Agra, Kanpur, Chennai. This will benefit companies like Bata India and Relaxo and hundreds of others. Automobiles and electric vehicles, Indian EV and hybrid car makers like Tata Motor, Mahindra Electric will benefit from reduced import tariffs and preferential quotas. And what will that do, viewers? It will make some of these cars cheaper for us. Gems and jewelry, removal of UK duties up to 16% will aid exporters, particularly from Gujarat and Maharashtra. Auto components and engineering goods, zero tariff to benefit companies like Bharat Forge and others. Pharmaceuticals and medical devices. There's a whole plethora, viewers, and I can go on and on and on. We'll run out of time. But the fact is, viewers, that there is the prospect on the back of this to boost Made in India, Make in India. Let's leave it at this. We'll have to, of course, go into the fine print. But at this moment, it's looking very promising and a job well done. Take a short break. Vantage coming up with Palki Sharma.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar's sudden resignation has sparked a political fallout, revealing simmering tensions within the government. Sources say Dhankar frequently clashed with senior ministers, even humiliating them during conversations. But this obviously the falling out after the Vice President has resigned, and many try to understand why it is that it seemed that the government was upset with him. This is, of course, one version of events being patched together. Reports now coming through ahead of the US Vice President's visit. A report that he demanded his portrait be displayed alongside the Prime Minister's, requested for a Mercedes. These are just reports coming in from sources right now, as many try to piece together exactly what could have happened that led to this abrupt resignation. We're just playing out reactions for you.
सर, दो मसले पे सरकार और आप लोग आमने सामने हैं। उपराष्ट्रपति के इस्तीफे का मसला और एसआईआर का मसला। उपराष्ट्रपति को लेकर चुनाव आयोग ने तैयारी शुरू कर दिया। विपक्ष की तरफ से उम्मीदवार को लेकर कोई बातचीत हो रही है?
देखिए, अब तक इस बारे में कोई बातचीत नहीं हुई है, लेकिन ये एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट मसला है उपराष्ट्रपति का, और हम इंडिया ब्लॉक के लोग एक साथ बैठकर उस बारे में निर्णय लेंगे।
तो साझा उम्मीदवार देंगे जैसे पिछली बार दिया था?
डेफिनेटली देंगे।
Okay, we're going to go over to our two reporters on this story, Payal and our colleague Pallavi, both joining us on this story. Payal, since the abrupt resignation of the Vice President, many trying to piece together exactly what happened that evening that could have led to this. Now more stories coming through. Could you shed a light?
This is not an overnight, decision by the Uprashtrapati himself is what we're given to understand. But as far as his behavior with certain leaders within the ranks are concerned, it has been putting a lot of things into peace, given the fact that he constantly had abruptions. He had run-ins with ministers in the government. He was very, very dismissive of certain senior ministers in the government. All of this is coming to the fore right now, given the fact that on that day itself, he was approached by the government on 3 occasions throughout the entire day. First, JP Nadda and Kiran Rijiju, then Kiran Rijiju and Arjuna Meghwal. Finally, Mr. Arjuna Meghwal trying to tell him that, this is a united way in which everybody wants to take up the issue of Justice Verma. But the Vice President of India at that point in time probably was not even willing to listen to the government. He just kept on telling them that he knows what his duties really are and he needs no lecture on that. So that is something which has come to the fore. Of course, his behavior over the last 6-7 months, there are no surprises of knowing that he's been very, very dismissive of ministers in the government. About 6 to 7 months ago, on a public platform, he had humiliated Agriculture Minister Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, after which, of course, there was a lot of back and forth between the government and him. And then he had to come out and say that Shivraj Singh Chauhan is actually a well-wisher of the farmers. So his behavioral traits, the way he would dismiss the ruling side, the fact that he became over-friendly with the opposition side, a lot of theories coming to the fore. But, what we are able to understand that Mr. Dhankar had seen a 360-degree change in behavior over the last 1.5 years is what we're given to understand, and not very becoming of the Vice President. It's a constitutional post. It is his duty to keep everybody together. It is his duty to listen to all sides. But on that day itself, despite 3 attempts being made by the government saying that, yes, we are also getting signatures done. The signatures are for the same cause. We submitted it into Lok Sabha. And very importantly, Mr. Dhankar met Kiran Rijiju on Sunday afternoon. Mr. Rijiju conveyed the same thing to him. Back then also, Mr. Dhankar gave no hints whatsoever that he was in receipt of the opposition motion and that he was going to admit it. And even before that, 4 to 5 days before that, also senior ministers in the government had in fact approached Mr. Dhankar, told him about the entire thing, because it is the duty of the government to keep the chair also appraised over what's happening and what is the business that is really coming in. But what business comes in is obviously the business of the government and business of the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. But
Okay.
Mr. Dhankar was extremely dismissive, and that's actually shocking. So much so that when he went to resign, submit his resignation to the President of India, it is learned that many senior ministers in the government also discovered about this only when they saw the resignation letter on social media. There was no opinion taken from the government. There was no opinion taking in from the Prime Minister. There was no appointment sought with the President of India. He suddenly went to the President House, waited for about 25 minutes, met with the President of India and left from there after 40 minutes of going there as well. So a lot of things leading up to what really has transpired. But so far, the BJP government and the NDA government have maintained that they did not say anything and will continue to not say anything about the Vice President because they considered him to be a constitutional post.
Okay, let's go over to our colleague Pallavi to understand more. Pallavi, can you explain to us how does the opposition see this, especially now that multiple sources are revealing seeming incidents that the Vice President had engaged in the last year that actually led up to this?
So,
does the opposition see it as convenient? Sorry, to go ahead.
Yeah, we have been reporting on this also, that it all actually began on the 8th of July, according to Congress sources. That is when they decided that there has to be a second impeachment motion. They would want to move on their own and need not necessarily club it with that of the government, and that would be in Rajya Sabha. There were 65 opposition MPs who signed an impeachment motion against Justice Verma. Their plan was essentially also to trap the government on the other impeachment notice that they had given was on Justice Yadav of the Allahabad High Court. It is after the 65 MPs signed it, they took a copy of that, what we are being told, to the Vice President of India. You saw those pictures of Mr. Kharge. Jairam Ramesh also spoke to him on 21st evening and just before 22nd when he resigned, just to ask him what is happening. Now, what really took the government by surprise, which is what Payal is also referring to, is the fact that suddenly the former Vice President spoke about an impeachment notice which was pushed forward by the opposition parties. He didn't reject it. He said, it has come into my knowledge and I'm going to look into it, and there is a Business Advisory Council meeting later today, and let's think about it then. That is what is believed to have upset the government, because government is not being, sheepish or messy over here. The government says that there is a procedure. If you're having a BSc, the agenda is always prefixed, and this is an agenda which the opposition parties and the government and the chairperson, which is the presiding officer, they all of them decide. It's mutually agreeable. Why is it that a vice president suddenly mentioned it? And that's the reason why we never saw anyone from the government side on the BSc meeting. Of course, they said that they were preoccupied elsewhere. So the Congress hand in this entire resignation drama and episode is something which cannot be missed out. The statement of Jairam Ramesh that a Kisan Putra has not even been given a dignified farewell has not just not gone down well within the with the government, but also within the opposition, because they feel that this was a man who compromised on the constitutional principles. He targeted us the most. And today, why this semblance of sympathy? And that's precisely the question where the BJP is also asking, that look at this impeachment motion you moved against Jagdeep Dhankar. Today,
hello, namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. We begin with the latest border clash. Thailand has dropped a bomb on Cambodia using an F-16. What triggered this and how is it shaping up? We'll discuss that tonight. In Russia, a Soviet-era passenger plane has crashed. All 49 people on board are feared dead. We'll tell you why this is being linked to Western sanctions. In London, Prime Minister Narendra Modi seals a long-awaited trade deal. It's been brewed longer than British tea, but it's finally served. We'll bring you the highlights. Across the channel, things are less diplomatic. French President Emmanuel Macron is suing a US podcaster for claiming that First Lady Brigitte Macron is a man. Elon Musk's empire is wobbling, Tesla profits have fallen, and Trump doesn't want to give him federal contracts. Speaking of, the US president remains caught in the Epstein nightmare. Turns out Trump's name is in the Epstein files. In Beijing, European leaders discuss trade and ties. They're calling it a summit, but it's more like a summons. We'll explain why. Armenia and Azerbaijan are shaking hands. The US is brokering peace, but where is Russia? In Gaza, the alarm bells are deafening. More than 100 aid agencies warn of mass starvation. India calls for an end to the fighting. And finally, the great mystery of our time. How many steps do you really need to walk? The answer is not 10,000. All this and more coming up. The headlines first. Big relief for Brazil's former